Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first expert session with our Malt expert, Phil.
Hello.
Hello. So happy that lots of people are joining today. So we have nearly 80 registrations for today's session. So we're really looking forward. Phil has really interesting slides presented for you today. So yeah, we just will wait another 1 or 2 minutes. And yeah, super nice to see you all here. Before we start, just a few organizational notes. The webinar will be recorded and will be available to you after the session. So you will get an automatic email from Livestorm. So if you would like to check the session again, that's your chance. And yes, if you have questions, and please tell us all your questions. That's your chance to ask Phil all your questions. Post it in the chat. I will check the chat during the session, and yes, we'll let him know when we have questions here. So please use the chat and make sure to ask all your questions. And yeah, we will only wait 1 or 2 minutes until we start so that all people have enough time to come in to the meeting. And in the meantime, you are welcome to write in the chat where you are from, what are you doing as a freelancer, so that also we can get a feeling of who is with us today and to see which people are joining today. So don't be shy. Use the chat. We're looking forward to see who is here today.
Yeah, post any questions. There's going to be some lots of questions actually during the webinar, so prepare yourself. It's going to be very interactive. I would suggest you have a paper and pen also to record your answers. So, and then obviously any questions anytime, just feel free.
Yes. Perfect. Subienne, hi, welcome. Full stack web developer from Germany. Cool. Happy that you are here today. So more people are typing. Cool. Copywriter from Munich. Hi. I'm just coming back from Munich from our office. Cool. I would say let's wait another minute and then we will start with the session. So to make sure that we have enough time to cover all topics today. I see there are still more people coming in, but yeah. Social media freelancer from Austria. Welcome, Jennifer. Yes, the recording will be shared afterwards. Yeah, you will get like an automatic email from Livestorm with the recording.
You won't get the live Q&A though.
Yeah. Cool. Then I will say, let's start. And I just will introduce myself very quickly, so I don't want to steal time from Phil. Just for everyone who's here with us today, my name is Francesca. I'm the Community Success Manager at Malt, and I'm working for Malt nearly 3 years now. So in July, it will be 3 years. And I'm your contact person if you have questions regarding your profile. If you have questions for the platform, let me know. I'm happy to help. So especially for the DACH region. And if you have questions, you always can send us an email. It's also here displayed in the slide. Let us know if you need help or you have questions. And yeah, I'm super, super happy that we have the opportunity to have this super interesting session today with Phil. And yeah, as I mentioned before, I don't want to talk that much. So I just want to use the time we have today and will pass the microphone to Phil now.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Francesca, and everyone. Hello. Not too far from Germany. I'm actually based mostly in Antwerp, which is just a train away from Cologne. And really glad to see you live or recorded. And it's going to be hopefully a very interesting, impactful, and hopefully life-changing session for some of you. So I will go straight into it because we have a lot of content and I will try not to go too fast. Don't worry, there's not too many slides, but there's about 10 or 12 questions, which will help everyone understand where they are in terms of their health and habits, with a few tips in between and actions. So I wanted to make this a very practical session. And by the way, I will run this session also myself through TITEOS, my startup, more or less every month from April. So those of you who've missed it, you can register on titeos.com. I will give you some pointers at the end and links. And of course, if you have any questions, and you can contact me, connect with me on LinkedIn. It's easy, or through my website. So who am I? Basically, I want to explain my story. It's not about a CV, but I have a dual role. I'm a marketing director, CMO. I've been with Malt and before Co-Match, and I work part-time for Tyke, API management, based in London, and mostly launching TITEOS, which is a health habit system, in June. So you're getting this is the first time I run this webinar. It's a preview, and please let me know what you like, what you don't like in the survey, because it's really important for me to have you as better clients or better users and prospects, if you want, potentially. Or I'm not here to sell, I'm here to help you guys. So health habits. Yeah, some people might not see it as important. Obviously you do, you hear. Everything is super important, right? Everybody is busy, whether you're a founder, an entrepreneur, an executive, a freelancer, until you have a health issue, until you're sick. And then you realize, well, actually, there's nothing important as health. So a lot of studies which are published regularly in the medical or scientific world talk about health issues, and it's getting worse. So in a way, my target market is getting bigger and bigger by the day, but it's not good, right? These are some of what I've found today in the last few months. There's a brand new research on founders experiencing burnout. Obviously, mental health is a big issue. They are struggling with social plans, with taking time for family and friends. And then you have exercising and eating healthily, which comes back again and again when I talk to my clients in terms of the top issues they have. Obesity, sleep, stress, obviously everything is related. It's not just about looking thin, and it's feeling energetic, it's sleeping well, it's the impact on the cardiovascular, the immune system. So it's not just about weight, it's the impact, the connections. The body is completely connected. So the weight is very important, but there's way more than that that needs to be managed. And it doesn't have to be difficult. The principles are actually simple, but applying it in your life is something else. So what I'm going to explain now, and first of all, I would please ask you to take your phone or tablet to simply scan the QR code. If you have an issue, just let Francesca know in the chat. So what does healthy living mean for you? Please write 1 or 2 words. And once we've got enough answers, we will basically look at the results. You will see them straight away. So just scan the QR code. Thank you. We can see how many participants, and hopefully we'll get more than 15. So as I said, take screenshots of the results if you want, or take a pen and paper to write down your answer, and we can talk about it after, and you can see how you benchmark with everyone. So only 2 participants. Let's give it a bit of time. So every question, same page. So keep it on your browser. And you will see always automatically the question appearing. It takes normally a couple of minutes. So got, I think, 4 people so far. So let's wait a minute. We'll give about 2 minutes to each question maximum. So especially the first one. So what I want to get here is basically, and I will comment on some of the answers hopefully we'll have enough time. There's about 10 questions, so I'll let a few more people. Don't be shy. Just scan the QR code or go to slido.com on your desktop, and you've got the code there. So it's always the same code.
Yes.
Let me know if there are issues on the chat, because I can't see it. Actually, I can't see it, but I'm going to click.
Yeah, I'm here. If you have questions or you have problems, let me know in the chat. But I guess should be fine at the moment.
Yeah, if you can keep voting. I think actually you can, those watching this, you can also vote. I might be mistaken, but I will keep the questions active. I forgot about that. You can still vote and see the results. If you don't get the results, actually, I can send them to you. So don't worry if you're not watching this live. I will keep all the questions open for later, and you can see how you benchmark versus others. Okay, I'm gonna stop this. You can keep voting. So here we see what you guys are still voting, are telling us. So mental and physical, sleeping, happiness, valuable food, enough sleep, time for yourself, moving, taking care of your mental health. So usually you have really what I call the pillars of food, movement, resting or sleeping, life, and mindfulness. So what you're telling me here is basically mostly, let's say 80% goes about these 5 pillars. So there's balance and energy, but I'm glad to see that all of you, or at least as a group, you seem to be kind of representative of a bigger group of the world, if you want. So let's move on. Next question, which should be on your phone or your desktop again. So just have a tap if you're on the desktop, or same. It should be directly the next question. How would you rate your current health or energy? I think it's from 1 to 10. That shouldn't take as long, that one. So do you feel average, kind of a 5, or do you say, wow, I've exercised a lot, I've gone on a specific diet, I feel like an 8, I feel pumped, full of energy, like I try to be. Obviously not every day, but if you look at the whole week, 5 days out of 7, you are full of energy, you're eating well, you're sleeping well. So let's wait another minute. Are you voting, Francesca? Are you also voting? Yes, you are. Good. Right, we're getting to 10 people. As usual, some people might be late, and we have, I think you said about 80 people registered, but obviously not all of them, far from it, are live. So hopefully those watching can still enjoy the voting or the answers. Right, let's have a look. What's the average? A third is a 6, a third is a 7 is pretty good, actually. So 2/3 of you guys on the call, live call, are actually not doing too badly, or at least that's your perception. So, which is good. Obviously, you might not be representative of the population because you are already interested and probably active with your habits. All right, let's move on. Now, my story. So this is me. I took two time periods to just basically keep it simple, 1990 to 2010. In 2010, actually, that's when Instagram launched. So that's 15 years ago. So that's me. As you can see, there's no topless photo because there's nothing really to show. And what was my diet? It was basically sandwiches, beers, sweets, no pasta, fries, no knowledge whatsoever about healthy habits, basically. I was starting working in 1992. I'll tell you my age in a bit. So that was the beginning of my career. I was 42. Here you go. You can calculate. I'm now 57 soon. I was 93 kilos, over 20%, maybe 25. I don't think I was tracking at the time. I've got about 8 years of data, by the way, through my devices. Favorite sport was pub crawls, corporate career, parties. So not a great example, not very inspiring, is it? Now, that's me over the last few years. and a bit of posing photos there. That's me at CrossFit. And I'll tell you how did I get there? Well, the original trigger is that I have vitiligo, which is kind of a bit like psoriasis, which is like a skin immune disease, autoimmune disease. And I started to do blood checks, nutrition, food intolerance, all that stuff. Spent quite a lot of money on various things, orthomolecular, also alternative medicine. I was not doing a lot of sport, but I started really, did 8 years of CrossFit, and everything changed. I did a 1-month challenge, actually. Everything changed in my life since then. The way I eat, the knowledge I had about health, the difference I made in a month was 3%. I think it was 3% body fat. It was something like 3 kilos in a month. And my journey really started. I could the rewards, the motivation, the energy I got from it to say, okay, there's no way back. I don't want to be the way I was before. So over the years, obviously, your body changes actually over the days, over the weeks. But I'm now nearly 57, roughly, maybe not exactly in that shape, but pretty much all right. And I'm 77 kilos, 10% body fat, which I think is okay. VO2 over 55. I do a lot of sports. My HRV, heart rate variability is about 45. My heart rate at rest also, which is good. These are two good indications of your health or your fitness level. These are the things I've done over the years and more. I started in the biohacking movement. I eat paleo, which is kind of Mediterranean diet, which is for me the most sustainable. I did CrossFit, F45, Freeletics, some Wim Hof workshop, ice bath, all kinds of biohacking research, obviously, supplements. I use coaches over the years. I think it's important, and I want to walk the talk here because I'm a coach, obviously. Everything around mindfulness is quite new for me, actually, the last year or so. So meditation, I was really focused on my nutrition and sport for about 10 years. And the last year or two, I'm really shifting my balance more towards mind and rest. And the lifestyle I've changed also, obviously, over the last 10 years. So I do somatic movements, breath work, very important, and yoga also. So that's kind of my story. I guess over the last 30 years or even 35 years now. So as I said, it's not just about how beautiful your body is or how light you are or how much you weigh. It's way more than that. It's the mind, it's the rest, it's a lot of metrics, actually. If any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll keep going. So why? What do I want to do? Well, over the last 30 years, I've experienced the bad and the good, the unhealthy and the healthy. And I want to inspire. I want to be a role model. I want to activate at least one healthy habit for 1 million people by 2030. That is my why. That is my purpose. I want to coach also one-to-one or in group 1,000 executives, freelancers, entrepreneurs to be a better holistic health. Like today, I'm coaching indirectly through a webinar, but I also want to do it through my app and portal. Well, you'll see at the end what it looks like, and the program, obviously, that I'm launching. So that is why I'm doing it. It is not about becoming a millionaire, Tony Robbins in a way. Yeah, I want to be famous, but I want to be famous because I want to make the world population healthier.
And we have one question, Phil.
Oh, okay. Sorry, go on.
Maybe go ahead, no? Maria is asking, what are somatic movements?
Right. Somatic movement, there's different types of somatic, but basically to keep it simple, the one I do is called vegetal therapy. And it is about the mind-body connection. It is about your fascia, which is that layer of tissues that connects everything, basically. And you want to make your body more elastic in a way, more flexible, so that your mind is also sensing. If you do meditation, your mind-body connection is really important, right? You have thoughts, you have emotions, you have sensations. And if you want to change your thoughts and emotions, it's really hard. If you focus on your body sensations, it is easier to notice. It is easier to change And what I've experienced through a coach, somatic coach, is that also through the breath work, so it's also the breathing, the slow breathing, the deep breathing, you will start to change your mindset. You will start to feel less depressed or more focused, obviously with other activities. So somatic has to do with body, mind, movements. So every morning I do that. So it's my own interpretation. And somatic has different interpretations and different disciplines. It's coming from the Asia. A lot of good stuff is coming from Asia on health, for sure. Thank you. So so I've explained why I'm doing this. And TITEOS is my own startup, as you can see here. The website is not ready yet, by the way. As I mentioned, I'm launching in June, but I wanted to give already to help people. So I explained my journey. I've been basically, what I've realized is I've been in business for 32 years, B2B marketing, etc. I've had my startup. I've worked in corporate. I've done all kinds of things. I've lived in Australia, UK, Belgium, Switzerland, Glasgow, and the last 15 years, since 2012, roughly, I have completely changed my life. And that's why now I feel ready. But my project, my vision already was there about 3 or 4 years ago, actually, when COVID hit. Nothing to do with COVID, by the way, but actually it accelerated my journey, my discipline. And now I want to do it. I want to spend time and money actually on helping people. So what I also realized is that traditional coaching, which are doing a call with somebody, filling a sheet here and there, is okay, but is not enough for people. You still have to do the work, obviously, as a client. The coach is not going to do it for you, whether it's holistic coach, health, fitness, instructor, or whatever. Tools, I mean, now with AI, obviously, I am in tech, I use AI, and I am completely amazed by what's happening now, especially the last 6 months. And I want to use AI and data and content and curation of science and gurus like Uberman, Dr. Ataya, and others. I can give you a list if you want, to curate and package a mix of human and tech, which basically will help people to not have to track themselves, their habits, to not have to think about, oh, when do I do that? It's going to be kind of programmed in a way, but of course personalized also. It's not just the same for everyone, because everybody is different. Well, you don't have to do the same as me. I'm not expecting that. Integrated data, tech, AI, and app, that's what I've just mentioned. And also simple, because a lot of workouts and gurus and influencers are trying to make it too complex, are trying to be too technical, too complex, and you need to really shrink it to a phased approach, one by one habit, as well as adapt it through the feedback loop and make it practical and fitting your lifestyle. Because I don't have kids, by the way. I have quite a lot of freedom. I have my morning. I'm up very early, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I do my 1 hour routine. If you have kids, if you have to commute, I only do like a bike commute very quickly. I don't have a car anymore. Then it's different. I cannot advise you to do the same. You shouldn't do the same, but I need to understand your lifestyle so that in that 5 minutes you have, or 15 minutes, we can fit 3 habits. You don't have to go to the gym for an hour. You can get fit with 15 minutes workout, I can tell you, if you do it with me, for sure. And of course, what I hear and what I need myself, even if I know what to do, I need a coach myself. I need somebody I can talk to share, to be listened to get advice, to be assisted, to help me with my discipline and to focus me. So you can do it through an app, etc. And obviously I have an app also, but there's a human behind it. So that's the principles behind TITEOS and how you can get healthier. So you might be lost with all the information out there. And sometimes also I get trapped. I get trapped myself by reading something and, okay, something is interesting there, magnesium, and I've used a lot of supplements. At some point I was spending €300 a month on supplements. You ask me now, do they work? I have no clue. There's no way to measure impact, especially if you have different supplements, different habits. you might be able to do with one and go into different blood tests and see the impact, but there are so many variables. The correlation, the causal or correlation is very hard to prove. Some supplements are very expensive, coming actually from Germany, which are some of the best quality, and Scandinavia. They might cost 50 euros, 60 euro a month, but can I say for sure that magnesium is going to help your anxiety, that apple cider vinegar is making me less inflamed, that AG1 or similar green powder are going to be good for me. Sometimes you have a placebo effect, and what I've discovered over the years is that I probably wasted money, and that it's back to basics. The foundation of health, actually, the simple, I'll explain that at the end, the principles are simple. It is just not easy to implement, to choose them and to implement them into your lifestyle. But supplements will not replace a bad diet, will not be sufficient to be healthy. So bomb that, basically. So there's a lot of misinformation, and that's why through my program I want to debunk, I think it's the word, debunk some of that stuff. And I use AI actually, like websites, to check the reliability of studies, who's funding it, because a lot of big pharma, big food is funding studies, and yes, people get trapped, and of course on social media and even the media, traditional media. So I keep going. So I want to make sure that we get the interactive part there. So again, stop me if any question. If I'm going too fast, let me know.
Yeah, I just want to say, if you have questions, use the chat, but I think there are no questions so far. So yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Cool. So we have, what are we going to cover today? 3 parts, very quickly. Learn, assess, and build. So what I want to do with you guys and you to get at the end of the next 30 minutes is basically to have a good idea of, whoa, wow, that habit I'm doing is actually not the best. I can replace it with something else, or I can add another one to it. So I'm going to give, through the questions, the answers. So again, take note. And the couple of slides I'm going to have at the end, you can basically go away after and start making changes, or you can talk to me, or whatever you want to do. So I don't force you to do anything here. So these are the first 3 steps before what happens after the webinar, if you want, or you can do it on your own. You test what you've done, you adapt it, you report. If you have, I have the Garmin, which I really like, but you can have different devices to get data. You cannot manage what you don't measure. You don't have to be a data freak like I am, analytical with Apple Health, Garmin, Whoop, weight scale of 150 euros. You don't need that. You can just do it very simply. And then based on that, you can optimize and rebuild a set of habits, or you can go into a grow exponential phase. So that's the principle of the loop, of health loop, if you want. So learning, just a few kind of theoretical slides, and then we go full on into the practice. So as always, for me too, we are humans. When we see a project, a deliverable, a task, something we haven't done before, it looks huge. It's like a mountain, right? Oh, damn, that mountain is super high. When you start climbing the mountain or pushing that rock, I guess it is, or wheel, you say, oh, actually, yeah, it is kind of hard in the beginning, but yeah, it's starting to move. Every step is changing your mindset. So by doing, you're starting to feel something is happening, and you're starting to change your thought process. So after a while, I wouldn't say you're juggling, but some of you will say, wow, yeah, like me. After the 30 days, it was a 30-day diet, which no alcohol, no pasta, etc. It was hard. But I went into it and just gave it a go. It's really important. So, question, go back to your browser tab or phone. You should see this question. If not, let Francesca know. Which healthy habit, you can scroll down, by the way, on your phone, and there's maybe a few more there. Which healthy habit do you find most challenging to maintain? And sometimes I've asked for at least 3 or 4 or 5 options, but sometimes you'll see if the send button is green, you can send it, otherwise you can add some more stuff. So which healthy habit you find the most difficult, the most challenging for you currently, obviously? And after, we're going to talk about your goals. We're going to talk about what can motivate you to solve that challenge, to solve that blocker, if you want. But I'm really curious to see. It's a shame we don't have more people, but okay, let's try and get to 10 at least. There's some people not voting. Please, please vote. Everybody will benefit. It's not just for
Yes, don't be shy.
Don't be
It's
shy.
also, we don't see your name, so it's just anonymous.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't need to be scared.
No. And for those of you watching on replay, I think you can still vote.
We have questions. How do we vote? You need to scan the QR code.
Yeah, scan the QR code, yeah.
With your phone or your tablet, and then you will get directly the question, and you can, you can vote for several answers.
Yeah.
So just, you just need to use the QR code, or you can also go to slido.com.
Yep.
Perfect.
Exactly. And enter the number. So it's super easy. I like that tool.
Yeah, it's super nice. Yeah.
Indeed. I'm going to use it actually for my one-to-one also clients, because it's a good way to get interaction or to ask any kind of survey or question. So asking questions is really important anyway. So, okay, let's have a look. Keep voting. Also, you guys on the replay, and you will see the results if I'm not mistaken. Whoa. Okay. So exercise and move, followed by stress. So we've got 11 people there. So that is interesting. That it's kind of, let's say, obviously there's multiple answers here, but yeah, obviously the first 4, it's eating, mindfulness, stress, which is kind of related, and exercise. So it comes back to the mind, the body, and the nutrition, which I'm going to explain what comes first in my approach, at least. You might disagree, and you can disagree, but I think it's important to look at that. So next point, next question. So same page. You have that question coming up. What motivates you? So we've talked about your challenges. So now let's look at when you feel less challenged. What is helping you? What is a motivator? What is an accelerator, if you want? Maybe you have a goal like work performance. Maybe you have a friend, your partner. Maybe you're part of a fitness club. Maybe you basically have a very long-term motivator, a why, a purpose, which is to live healthily longer, longevity or health span. Or maybe you have a coach. Maybe you just social media helps you. I mean, I use Instagram influencer a lot to motivate me to learn, obviously, and like Mel Robbins, for example, and affirmations. So for me, that's important, as well as a coach. I would say that. So let's see, 10 people. Keep voting, live or not. So, okay. So personal health, aging, interestingly, comes second, actually. And then, okay, family coming quite distant. So it's interesting because that's what I hear from my clients too, is there's been something, a trigger, for example, that you realize, like me, I didn't have or know any disease or personal issue, but I was really big, 93 kilos for my height, which is 1 meter 81, by the way. I just like felt tired, just not liking what I saw. So there was a personal health, but some people have an issue like burnout or disease, or actually I had a personal issue. I had my vitiligo, so which are white patches on, I don't know if you can see them on my arm, and you just realize, what the heck, I'm 40, what's this? And then that's what triggered it. So like you. So it's interesting. And longevity, I don't know how old you are. A lot of people coming to my workshops are about 30, 35, which is great because the earlier you start. My program is mostly for people above 40, but you can start at 30 for sure. It's great that you also, I don't know, again, how old you are. You can say you don't know. I don't think you should say your age. It's not confidential, really, but or polite. And I think it's really good that longevity is top of mind. So let's move on. Motivation or discipline? Let me explain that. You heard the expression consistency beats, what is it, perfection? I forgot now. Consistency is what it's about. Consistency doesn't mean that I'm human too. Sometimes I'm too tired. I don't do my routine. I do a mini routine. If you skip a day, that's fine. The rule is do not skip 2 days in a row. Do something on the second day, even if it's just 10 seconds, but you don't lose your consistency. So these are scientific studies, it's not coming from me. So you might wonder which one of these lines is motivation or discipline. And there's no vote for that, but you can always express yourself in the chat. So let's have a look. Discipline is the consistent line where you start small, like motivation, and actually it's pretty much lower than motivation up to, I don't know if you see my cursor, up to this point. Obviously, motivation is the other one. Why? Motivation is usually emotional. It gets you going, it gets you started. And I'm very disciplined. I am not always motivated myself, some days more than others, but my discipline helped me the last 15 years to keep more or less the same body. My weight has changed. It went from the lowest I've been is 74 kilos. Body composition, not 10% fat, but a bit more. But I've managed to keep my body fat more or less the same over the last few years. I went back up to 80 end of last year, and I made changes. Actually, through going to Portugal, the sun and chilling, lost 3 kilos again. Now I'm 77. I want to keep 2 kilos down, basically 75. So, but I know what to do. Obviously, it is consistency. I do sport every day. I don't go to the gym if I'm not motivated. I want to do something that's fun and sustainable. And that's a message for you guys. If it's not fun, you will not do it. So discipline.
I have a question, Phil.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Go on.
So it's actually my question. If you work out every day,
yeah.
So do you think the body doesn't need like a rest day?
Yes. I will talk about that. And do not follow my example. Do not follow my example of going to CrossFit at 6 a.m, 5 days or 6 days a week. Not good. My coach said, stop. Your cortisol is going through the roof. And by the way, if you eat completely perfectly, you will not lose weight if you don't have the right sleep and if you don't rest. So my Garmin is telling me today, rest. Actually did today. What did I do? Well, I felt, I'm going to listen to my body. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to do heavy weights. I'm going to do a simple 20-minute movement with a kettlebell in the sun. And that's okay. Nothing too pushed. So I totally agree. Rest, sleep are super important. And I'll talk more about that. So I'll move on. So because we've only got 20 minutes. So relying on motivation, as I said, may get you through the first days or weeks, but discipline is long-term, is sustainable, is less emotion-based. It is a process. Trust the process if you want. Take small steps and achieve big results or good enough results. And sustainability is super important. To not do a crash diet or crash workout kind of discipline, because you will burn out also. I did so myself. So next question, how do you rank these 5 pillars? And I'm going to explain the pillars in a moment. So 5 key health pillars. And if you feel that there's a pillar missing, let me know, but I challenge you for that to find one that is not covered. So you have 5 pillars, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've put other. If you don't mind voting now or during play. Just checking if we still have people on the call. We do, right? Not many people have left, which is good. Only one, I think. So, pillars of health. I'll give it another 30 seconds. Keep voting. Shouldn't be too difficult. Just top of mind, what you want to focus on now. So we talked about the past, challenges, motivators. Now let's look at the present and the future. All right, we're gonna 10 seconds and then we'll move on.
So while voting is going on, Phil, we have a question from Maria.
Sure.
I would like to ask a question about the report topic. What simple methods are there, or can you recommend to get your health data without expensive tech? Good question, Maria. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Maria. So I would say I use the TITEOS app, but they will, I mean, I don't know if you have an iPhone, Apple Health is kind of standard, right? I don't know Android. I use Apple, so there might be something there, but I would start with that because it doesn't cost money. You've got your phone, right? There are apps for mindfulness, for sport, workouts, etc. You won't get as much data, but you don't need to spend 200 euro on a device. Mine is about 600 euro. But I'm a data freak, as I said. So you don't need. I think with 50 euros you can track enough data. But yeah, it's a good question, which I will actually will write a blog about that. You give me good ideas here. Hopefully I answered your question. So what you want actually to add is to kind of semi-automate it, because you can track it in a Google Sheet, etc. But it's painful. It is adding an effort. So my principle is you don't want to add effort. You want to have your automation in place. And the TITEOS app integrates with Garmin, Fitbit, Oura, Apple Health, so you don't have to submit any data. It's all there. All right, let's have a look. Whoa, it is ordered. Nutrition and sleep actually comes second before exercise, which is different, I think, from what we had before. I think the top three remain the same. But yeah, nutrition, I think, was already number one in terms of priorities. And or I can't remember the question we had, the challenges and the motivators. So good, interesting. Thank you, guys. And now we're moving on to the last couple of slides, I believe, about the theory. So this is I forgot the source of it, but this is typically how we humans are going through change, and not just health habits, but we are in a certain place, in a certain comfort zone, or maybe it's a discomfort where you might have some issues. You're not really positive in your mind, or you don't feel super safe. And then to make changes, you need to go through a certain fear zone, a certain doubts and excuse and confidence zone to get to, now I'm learning new skills, I'm learning new habits, I'm going through challenges, going through my fear. It doesn't have to be difficult, too hard, or time consuming, but this is the process you need to go through. And it can be happening within days or weeks. And then you see, wow, okay, the reward, the motivation, the discipline is there, the growth is there, the journey. So I won't spend too much time on that, but that's, again, very important. Trust the process. So what is my principle for the 5 pillars and TITEOS program is that the mind and the lifestyle, which are the environment, nature, the light, and there's different things here, are really critical to start with. Not nutrition, not movement, but mind and lifestyle. The mindset drives, I wouldn't say everything, but a lot. Followed by what is central as a pillar to everything, which is food. You can have a perfect workout. 80%, 70 to 80% of your results will be about the food. My high protein diet is super important to build muscles, to keep my body fat, to keep my weight, and of course, health, nutrients in place. Followed by, indeed, putting in place in your life your rests with movement. So together, to come back to, I think, Maria, rest and movement have to be organized together. And that might mean during your or after your workout, you have stretching or you have sauna or you have something like that. Or it could be the way you cycle through your workouts, types of workouts, high interval, strength, low cardio. I do a mix of stuff. Ideally, you should do that depending on your goals. So the 5-pillar health journey goes like that. So in that order. So life, mind, followed by eat, rest, and move. And that can be, and what I would add is really hard to change 5 pillars at the same time. I would focus on one. So you tell me, well, I only want to focus on eat, on my nutrition, on a meal plan and all that stuff. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do that. But we need to check. We need to make some slight adaptations to your life and mind first to make you more successful, to give you the foundation. It doesn't have to be long or complicated. Okay, let's assess now. Continuing, 3 or 4 questions very quickly. What are your health goals in 25? So let's see if I can comment on these. So you'll see some of the questions are slightly overlapping, but it's different. The answers are different. The question is different. So what do you want to achieve in the next, let's say, 3 to 6 months or 9 months, if you want? So I can't remember how many goals. I think you can just choose one or several ones and then submit. So again, no question? No, I don't think so. Thank you, Soufiane, for watching the rest later. And you guys for voting. I'm not sure if 5 CET is a good time, actually, because people want to go home or work from home, cook dinner, like me.
So we have another question, Phil.
Sure.
What approach can you recommend for hacking the mindset and overcoming blockages in order to stay on track?
Yeah, so I will cover each of the pillars a bit later, but the approach is actually simple. It goes about a lot of mindfulness, meditation, I should say, is a big help. It goes about also somatic work and breathing, breath work. I think the principles are very important. The pillars of mind are very important, but obviously, I'm not a mental therapist or a mental, a mental health practitioner, but because some people might have, traumas from childhood, etc. Like we all do. I'm not judging, and then you might need a bit of help on that. But usually, symptoms like depression and feeling lonely or feeling down can be complicated. And cannot be fixed just with breath work and yoga and you name it. But the principle, if you do these foundational things or some of them, that will help already. Let's have a look. So physical fitness performance, again, I think was number 1 on other questions. Muscle lean mass, sorry. Overall health and vitality. Okay, interesting. Normally, I see losing weight as kind of number 1 or number 2. So thanks, very interesting. I mean, we've only got 9 people, obviously, so let's be careful. But thanks for that. What are the main pains and the barriers? And we can talk about the main ones here. So what's blocking you? What's stopping you or slowing you down to get to your goal, to your ideal health? I'm curious to see what the 10 people also will say. I think you can select several ones, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just conscious of time.
Yeah, I think you only can do one answer.
Okay. All right. That should go fast. We've only got 10 minutes, so I just want to make sure I cover. I might skip 1 or 2 questions. So there's so much to cover on health in 1 hour. So I could spend the whole hour on mind or food or sleep. Sleep, maybe not, but exercise for sure. You spend 10 hours on that. All right, so we've got again about 10 people. Thank you, guys. No, lack of discipline or motivation. Maybe I should have split that answer into lack of time. Interesting, yes, quite common. Knowledge and tips also. Improving physical fitness. Okay, I might have worded that better actually, but okay. It comes back to. It'll be interesting to see based on the chart I've shown. If reflect first of all, if you feel you've got the motivation more than the discipline. If you are someone disciplined, for example, like I'm a type A, I'm very structured, analytical, and I push myself too much, which is a problem also, actually. So I need to chill more. Mind is not mine is getting better, but I've had to learn the hard way. So how do you rate your commitment? Very quickly, from 1 to 10, and then I have the next question, which is also from 1 to 10. So let's see where you are, guys. So remember, the average rating for your health was about 7. Some people 6, 7. How are you committed now to change, to make changes, to create new routine, to replace some of the bad habits with or unhealthy ones with healthy ones? Let's say in the next 3 to 6 months. So how would you assess? Are you maybe 1 or 2? It's too hard, or yeah, I want to change. I've got some serious health issues now or coming. I want to get healthier for my kids, whatever. So okay, quick one. So commitment. Whoa, okay, it's a 10. Okay, of course, you're here today. So why am I not surprised? No, but seriously, great. That's super, guys. Really pleased to see that. Really pleases me because that's what I want to see. I want to see whether you use somebody like me or not. Doesn't matter. What's important is that you're committed. Now, you might be committed and willing and motivated, but what's your ability to make changes? So we've talked about the blockers and the problems, the challenges. How do you feel after, well, I wouldn't say after this session, but you see yourself as I think now I'm starting to see light at the end of my tunnel, whatever it is. Do you feel able? Do you feel, yeah, with a bit more knowledge, with a bit more support, accountability, tech, whatever, I can make changes? Or nah, I'm still a bit lost here. I'm like a 2 or 3, for example. So let's see how this compares to your commitment, and compare yourself to the average, by the way. So, all right, I'm gonna give 10 seconds, then we have to move on. Too many questions I'm asking here. Well, the intake with clients takes up to 90 minutes, and there's a lot of questions. So this is like a mini assessment, if you want, just to give you an idea of the type of questions a coach would cover with you. They should. So, all right, let's see. Ability. Also an 8. So you might be mostly already aware, for sure, and already doing stuff. That's what I conclude. At least 57 or 70% of you guys. So that's pretty good. Great to hear too. So now let's look at habits. Which ones have you implemented already? Choose as many as you want. So I'm curious to see if you are committed, if you are able, then logically you're already in the process of doing some of this stuff. And by the way, these are some of the recommended habits. Simple habits. Doesn't take a long time or a lot of knowledge. So there are some of the most common habits. And if it's not there, just put other. You cannot, I don't think you can type anything there. Right, no more questions. Okay, let's have another 20 seconds. So again, those of you on replay, you vote after the poll. All the questions are still active. And and I think if you send, you might see the results at that time. So hopefully we'll have more people. All right, let's go to the results. Whoa, okay, supplements. Yes, supplements is kind of bashed supplements, but yeah, some of them are very, everybody needs them. Everybody needs vitamin D, magnesium to a point. Zinc, it cannot be bad. Let's say, does it help everyone? That's another ball game. You know, some people might be low on iron or low on minerals, and the best is to do a blood test. Obviously, I don't know in Germany what kind of blood test and metrics they do, but in Belgium I have to ask a special lab to do that. Most people take protein. I've heard you need to take protein, especially as you age. That's true. Obviously, hydration is very important, and vegetables, plant-based. There we go. And then followed by exercise and the rest. So plant-based, definitely. It depends on the quality of vegetables, by the way. So whether you're vegan, keto, whatever, it's your choice. But there's bad stuff in vegan. There's bad stuff in meat also. So the quality is very important. Unfortunately, it costs more money, but it doesn't have to be super expensive. So let's move on.
We have another question,
Oh,
Phil, before we move
go
on.
Yes.
Dimitri asked, what's the best way to track those habits?
Yeah, well, there's different apps to Habitify and to track habits. And again, that's why I've built the TITEOS program and app. Actually, I haven't built it. I'm using Practice Better and That Clean Life, which are super platforms and apps for health and wellness coaches worldwide. So I'm using them to customize the program so that basically every day you get a reminder, a task, a notification, whatever your focus is, and you just have to answer. Like here, you just select 1 to 5, you click a box, and it's tracked. It's tracked in a chart, in a report, and you discuss it with your coach every week or every month or whenever is needed in the chat. So, but there are apps. If you type habit tracker in Google, what is it called, Play, whatever, you will get free apps to do that. It depends what you like. You know, if you want visual, if you want a table, so it's your choice. But just contact me if you want some tips. So I have to move on because I'm running out of time. So healthy habits, healthy habits are based on a loop. It's scientifically proven. You have a cue, you bored, you bored at work, you overworked, you have a craving, you need a break, you have a response or routine. You know, you check social media, you go for a walk, you go for a healthy or sweet snack, and then you have a reward. Dopamine, obviously, the dopamine effect of social media is well documented. And then you have relief, distraction, feeling better. So unfortunately, I'm losing time here. I've lost time, sorry. But basically, you need to identify and understand. So if you work with me or a different coach, hopefully you will go through your list of responses and see, okay, what can we change? What should we change? You will experiment with new rewards that will give you motivation, actually, and you will identify, you will isolate the cues. So I've got examples here of cues, and there's more, but these are examples. So you can read them. I'm not going to read through them. You've got examples of the typical cravings that you might have. So I would suggest you go through it, you select which cues, which 1, 2, maybe 3 cues are coming back again and again. You know, you're feeling tired a lot, or you're going out with your friends, they want you to drink alcohol. Healthy response routine would be something like that. So it's a short list. Unhealthy ones will be something like that. No surprise, fast food. And then the rewards. So if we work together, we'll go through that in obviously far more details. We'll have a table where you can match the cue, the craving, the habit, and make a kind of customized program for you. So, and by the way, I call that snack habits, the 5-minute habits or the 2-minute habits. So nothing there should take more than 5 minutes for sure. So focus on the rewards and the routine or the response, not necessarily changing the cues or changing the cravings. It's far more difficult. So look at loving something bigger than the current bad habit, which is basically the reward. So I'm going to skip to this because we don't have time. The last one I wanted to cover is basically this one, which we talked about very quickly, the pillars and the key fundamental, simple, actually, principles of each pillar. So you can read through them. There's way more behind it, obviously, but we're going to need another probably 10 minutes to cover it all. I apologize for that. But contact me if you want to chat about this. I can do a quick recording about these slides if you want also. So what's next? We've gone through this. We now, you or we would basically look at these steps. So what's happening with me, with TITEOS? Well, there's 3 programs which are going to be launched in June. But there's a test program, which I'm going to cover quickly. So build, boost, breakthrough. So pricing and details are being developed right now. And there will be, as I mentioned, the practice better. This is the desktop version, and this is the app, what it looks like. I was talking about data integrated from Garmin, from Fitbit. So that's basically what you would get if you subscribe. So don't wait. You don't have to wait till June if you want to make changes with TITEOS or whoever. Again, up to you. Discipline is choosing between what you want now, the quick dopamine shot, and what you want most. Or actually, it's a balance between the two. So President Lincoln said that. So next steps, actions, if you want, book a quick call with me to discuss the last 2 slides, for example. So you can do that there. You see my calendar. Obviously, it's free, no obligation. I want to help you guys and learn from you. And if you're interested, go to this website. You can register directly. There's no payment. There's nothing, no obligation. So you can do the 1-month program starting in 10 days, 31st of March. At least the first 2 weeks will be free, and then you can decide to stay or not. But don't worry, there's no commitment. I want to get as many test customers as possible so that I can learn from you guys. And then I can get feedback on the habit program that is going to cover mind, life, nutrition, and movement, I think. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Phil, for all your super interesting insights, all your super cool and interesting slides. Your survey was super nice. I know we're a bit out of time. That's not.
Sorry.
That's not bad. It's just only 2 minutes. So if someone still is having questions, please let us know. If not, thank you very much for joining. And yes, thank you so much. Have a nice evening. We have one question left, actually.
Yeah, I see that.
What do you think will be possible with AI in the future?
Oh, it is mind-blowing, Maria. Already now, you of course you have all kinds of AI tools that, and even AI coaches, and I use that myself to recommend. Obviously you have to be careful because ChatGPT, for example, or Perplexity I use, and they have specialized health tech startups and tools. So what will be possible in 6 months, in 12 months? I mean, who knows? But the speed of change, what I've seen in the last 6 months, it is just mad. So at the end of the day, AI is a tool. It is increasing your productivity. It is helping you to focus, to research, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you still need some human accountability. But in a year's time, maybe there will be a virtual avatar kind of coach helping you. But I think people are people, and you still need some kind of emotional and human kind of approach. So combined. Good question.
Cool. Great. So any other questions? Maybe last questions before we leave?
Or send the questions to me after on LinkedIn, or I think it's easier. LinkedIn I use a lot. So and yeah, go to my website to these 2 pages because the programs are not there yet. But you can already register. So or just DM me. Just put your email, test. And as I said, there's no fee, there's no obligation. I want to test. You see what you get in the app on your phone. There's no big effort there.
Great.
Thanks, Malt and Francesca and
Yeah,
everyone.
sure.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so much, Phil, for being here, for sharing your insights with us. And yeah, thank you for everyone else who's joining until till the end. It was super interesting also for me. I learned a lot. And yes, thank you everyone. Have a great evening. Bye bye.
you too. Stay healthy.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.